Hello, everyone. Good to be with you tonight, or whenever you get to view this. We've had a couple of people want to, and I don't know why, but they've asked, what we do to prepare, and for the most part, the physical preparedness, the temporal preparedness. So we'll talk about that first, and then Sue has some really cool insights in Nephi, and I'm assuming you started the Book of Mormon over again. Is that what happened?
No, I was reading the Christmas story in
Oh.
the Book of Mormon,
Oh, okay. All right.
and that's how I found it.
Cool. So, yeah, and she shared it with me on Sunday, and it's just awesome. So I'll just start a little bit about preparedness. We've always had it in our it's just been part of our DNA ever since we were married, and I won't say we're the best at being prepared. Many of you are way better at it than we are, but I don't mind sharing, some of the things that we're focused on, what we think about, why we feel like we need to get this kind of stuff. But I don't know what are some of the things that are uppermost in your mind?
Starvation. I don't want to starve.
I thought it was always water with you.
Starvation. It's part of starvation. You have to have water every day.
Yeah.
But starvation. If I knew anybody was starving to death, I know how I feel when I am hungry.
Are you getting emotional already?
I am.
Why?
Because I think of those poor people who have empty tummies.
See?
And so I think it's so important for us to prepare, not only for us, but we can help other people with our preparation.
There you go. And that's where Sister Palmer, Sue, that's where she comes in, is the compassion and the understanding of others. I think, Paul talks about, and it gets offensive to some people, but he refers to women as the weaker vessel. And so women get all stressed out about that, and Paul, he doesn't understand what's going on. But the vessel is the body, and typically, not always, but typically, the man is thought of as the protector. So what a guy thinks of in preparedness quite often is different than what a woman thinks of. A woman has more of a nurturing instinct, and a man is more of a protector of people around him, family, obviously. So, and I'm speaking in general terms, but that's what we found typically is guys think of, how am I going to protect my family? And women quite often think of, how am I going to help others around me? And how am I going to... In fact, there was somebody who commented on one of our videos. She said she's changed from buying bulk stuff to packaging and doing small meals that, I don't think I've even told you this, so that she has the capability of sharing those a lot easier, because it's hard to share, bulk. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know recently I've been cleaning out our freezer by us eating what the small things that I've packaged and put in the freezer. And so we've been eating some pretty interesting things because they have been in our freezer. They're not necessarily long-term, but I totally agree with whoever said that. Packaging small things, and so you can just drop something off or have something ready at the drop of a hat. Yeah, I agree with that. A long time ago, many moons ago, I attended a class that this man made bread and I was totally convinced by the Spirit that I needed to start doing that. So we've all heard our stories, and I'm sure that many of you partake of your bread, your delicious bread you make. I just remember a story of many years ago. A sweet little 9-year-old was kneading bread, and her bread was so heavy and so dense that their family really couldn't partake of it. But at that time, she needed to be the one to knead her bread. Anyway, I just thought, you know, bread really is the staff of life, even though we're not supposed to eat carbs and blah, blah, blah.
And gluten.
Oh, gluten. We're gluten-free.
We're not.
We're not, definitely. But it's so important that we get these essential vitamins and minerals, these oils from this wheat, I guess. Some people use spelt now, and I haven't. I still am using my wheat. I think that Scott probably had to have his knee replaced because he's moved our 50,000 pounds of wheat storage a couple of too many times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I use hard white winter wheat. I can make bread and rolls in under an hour. I took some hot rolls to our family, one of our family get-togethers. Even though we're not supposed to get together, we did on Christmas evening, and it was like I brought in bars of gold. The rolls were gone in.
Like that.
They're warm, they're delicious, they're so tasty. So anyway, you know, I know I'm only talking about one facet of our food storage, but I think it's really, really important, especially in times of need, that we have something that's substantial. And so we've just always had that. In fact, we gave some of our children some wheat and gluten and yeast for Christmas. And because they enjoy making bread, they love it. And it's a staple for them as well. So that's one facet. In fact, today, what did you order for me?
Oh, millet and
Amaranth,
which I have no idea what that
sunflower
even is.
seeds, and
Flaxseed.
flax.
Flax. Isn't
Yeah.
that a seed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, flaxseed.
Anyway, because I have a delicious bread recipe that I make with that, and I just thought, you know what, it's so delicious. You can make so many loaves with this recipe. And anyway.
So the bread's a big part of what we do and everything that goes with that. And we've been doing that for years. The other aspect is we have a large pantry. All of our homes have had that as of the last several years, and we have a really good supply of canned goods, bottled goods at Sue's Bottled Things that are on a constant rotation. We also have long-term food storage that will last 25 to 30 years. It lasts longer than that, but that's when it starts to break down a little bit, the nutritional value, but it's gonna last a long, long time. And there's several suppliers of that. It is a little spendy, but I think it's critical to have long-term plus the continual stuff that, you know, grocery stores will have case lot sales, you know, so you pick up a case of this, a case of that, and then you're just rotating those out. Honey's a big thing, of course, that goes along with the bread. So we've always been big into all of that. Now, in addition to that, and I'll just kind of blabber some of the stuff and then you just interject, but water purifiers. I think I have handheld ones for more for backpacking and things like that. But hey, they're awesome. I know how to clean the filters. I know how to change the filters. We have gravity fed, 2 or 3 of those gravity fed on the counter. Alexa Pure is one, and then there's another brand, and they're awesome. And we actually used that last summer when we had a boil order. I think it was in the summer. I can't remember. Anyway, we had one, and so we did that and used it. We actually have a water purifier for our kitchen that purifies water. So we're really into that. I think that's critical. You should know how to use it. You should have extra filters depending on the condition of the water that you're filtering, right? I'm also big into generators and having a source of power. I have a 3,500 watt one that will run an RV, totally everything, and also it will run most of your essentials in a house, refrigerator, freezers. It won't run an oven. It won't run a dryer. You know, the things that really take a lot of wattage, but it'll handle some light bulbs and essentials in a home. I think that's critical. A lot of people in the Wasatch Front with the windstorms, their powers were out up to 2 weeks. So keeping things frozen, depending on what time of year, or you know, being able to run a fan or a heater, you know, a space heater, whatever it is. I think those are important things. Now, having said all that, don't feel like you have to run out and buy all this stuff. This has been accumulated over years, and it's kind of our thing. But I think the Lord, and we've said this many times, the Lord qualifies our effort. So if we, you know, whatever little thing we do, He'll magnify that. What we can do, the space that we have. If we're in a 1-bedroom apartment, obviously, you know, things are going to be different.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
So a number of years ago, our ward was really into preparation, and one Sunday in a sacrament meeting, we were told
I forgot
to
about this.
mock a disaster and live off of what we had in our home for a week. And so we did. And it was pretty interesting. It was awesome because I used a lot of my powdered milk. We started with maybe 1 or 2 gallons of milk. We're not real big milk drinkers, but we do use it. And anyway, we would add our powdered milk to our milk. But I think that that's what maybe we should do now, is go through our week, write down everything that we eat, because you don't want to store things that make you sick, that gross you out, that your children won't eat. You know, even if you have to, I don't know. But maybe start with a week and look at what you eat during the week. What is a staple for you? What are staples for your family? And just start there. You know, maybe buy an extra container of oatmeal if that's what you like to eat. Or, you know, because I know, especially nowadays, I truly wonder. I walk into a grocery store and I wonder how some people can afford to feed their families now because it's so expensive. We buy half a beef every other year. We bought one, not this past summer, but the summer before, and we still have some left. And so we didn't purchase any beef this year. But, you know, it's more of a frame of mind, and you know, I guess that's all I want to say about that.
Okay. The other thing I really focus on a lot is light. I don't know why, but flashlights, batteries. I have you know, we have a ton of batteries, but we also have the rechargeable kind. And I'm just kind of OCD on that stuff. I'm always, recharging them. I have little small solar
Lights.
lights, but also
The
chargers,
battery
chargers
packs.
to charge your phone. In fact,
Battery packs.
because I'm charging my phone right now with a solar little battery charger or phone charger, a USB plug. You know, you can plug it in. You could even charge a computer with it if you need to. I'm really into that kind of stuff. I like tactical pens. I like knives, and for the guy, I have my concealed carry permit. I have several weapons, and I just, it always bothers me that someone thinks, oh, so you're going to kill somebody if they want some of your food, and that's just ridiculous. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that's like that, and I'm in a pretty good circle of people that are prepared that way, and practice and know how to defend themselves or their families, and they know how to hunt. They know how to gut a deer or an animal and skin it and butcher it, which I do, and I've done many times. And so those are things that I like and I feel confident about, just like some women might feel that about preserving, fruits and vegetables,
Oh, I forgot.
gardening,
This is the coolest thing.
seeds.
So we have this great big huge beautiful strip of lawn that our dogs don't go potty on, and so it's perfect. It was gorgeous. It was 8-10 feet wide, and
Probably 10, yeah.
I don't know how long, forever and ever and ever long. And I had this wild hair to turn it into a garden this year. So we fenced off one area, and we had some wonderful men come in, and they dug up all of our lawn. And now I'm going to have a huge garden, and I've already purchased my seeds for it. We have had little gardens. Our tomatoes are yummy. Carrots,
Herbs.
herbs. But this year I'm really going to go for it. And we've had lettuce before, spinach. You can always freeze the spinach. It's wonderful. Make soups, drinks, whatever. But anyway, I thought this year I'm going for it.
Awesome. Okay, hope that's helpful. Just do the best you can on that. The prophets told us that spiritual preparation is paramount, and I agree with that, because what it does is it causes you to think about the basics of life, the simple things of life, when you do that, and part of that is being physically prepared.
I have to tell you another story. Mm-hmm. So our son, we have 3 sons. They're appraisers. One went and appraised a home today, and he said the family lived in a regular community, and they really felt prompted to sell their home and move to an area that had a little bit more property, and so they did. They have 5 or 6 acres now. Just purchased it, moved into this new home. It's quite a bit smaller. They have many children, and they do not have a lot of bedrooms for these many children, but they put their children downstairs until they can figure out what to do. Some people like the fancy cars. We have nice cars. I'm not saying we don't buy things that aren't nice. I'm wearing a Patagonia jacket. You're probably all just like, they are so full of CRAP. Here they are preaching, but you end up putting your money where you are prompted and led to. You know, if I had a lot of money, I'd probably go have some Botox done or something to get rid of my wrinkles. That's why I have to sit back so you don't see my wrinkles. Or a fat sucking job, whatever you want to call that.
Lipo.
But, you know, you look at what really is essential and what Heavenly Father leads you to do. Can I just say something really quick? Okay, this is, I was reading the Christmas story, and this really leads to it, what we've been talking about. So Nephi sees his father's vision, and I'm just going to read this verse that I read. And it was about the Christmas story and the condescension of Jesus Christ, and, you know, and that. Well, anyway, I continued reading, and it said, "And the multitude of the earth was gathered together, and I beheld that they were in a large and spacious building, like unto the building which my father saw. And the angel of the Lord spake unto me again, saying, Behold the world and the wisdom thereof. Yea, behold the house of Israel hath gathered together to fight against the 12 apostles of the Lamb." What? So, first of all, he's talking about the world and the wisdom thereof. And then he's talking about the house of Israel that's gathered together to fight against the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And I thought, what are we doing? Because I'm of the house of Israel. Am I fighting against the 12 apostles of the Lamb? Well, then it tells you to go over to Micah. So cross-references Micah 3. And I'm just going to read a few scriptures in Micah 3. "And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and you princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment?" And so here it says, we're to know judgment. We've been given, last time I think I was talking about 121. Where else was I talking? About having the Holy Ghost as our constant guide and companion. Anyway, I just need to start this again. Micah 3, I'm starting in verse 1. "Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel." So, who are the princes of the house of Israel? Maybe those of us who've made another covenant in the temple. "Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil? Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets," and these are false prophets, not our prophets, not President Nelson, not the 12 apostles. None. This is not what it says. And the cross references false prophets. "Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, Peace. And he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto you, and ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, will not know, will not be led. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them." So the sun will go down over the false prophets, and the day will be dark over them. I'm just going to read 9 and maybe 9 through 11 now. "Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity." You know, we're not supposed to judge. That's what we're told. We do not make judgment calls. That is baloney. We need to make judgment calls each and every day, all day long. We need to do that. "They build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? So I just think, as we truly live so that we can have the Holy Ghost with us, we really want to forego the world. We don't want to be a part of it. We get rid of our Netflix and we watch PureFlix instead, and we don't watch, I don't know. There's so much going on right now, sisters and brothers, so much going on. And I know we're not supposed to speculate or, what's the other word? Talk about conspiracies, so I'm not. Because I don't know what conspiracies they're telling us to not talk about, but I won't talk about any conspiracies that are in the world right now, except for us not looking for Jesus Christ to come. Can I talk about the new star?
Yeah.
I
I'd
know,
love to
I'm
hear
sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
This is awesome. I love this.
And I'm sorry if I'm taking too long. I'll hurry.
We're
because-
fine. We're fine. We can go as long as we want.
Well, I know, but our internet is really STUPID. And
That's in case you have kids listening. We don't like to say those bad words.
okay, so think of last week. And I'm sure that Scott talked a little bit about last week in the new star. So we heard about it, and we're outside, and they say, look on the 14th, whatever it is,
Yeah.
degree line. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have these mountains that are so close to us, and we won't be able to see over, and I panic with stuff like that. Remember when the big jets flew all around the state of Utah this summer? Well, I for sure thought that I was going to miss them. They're my favorite things in the whole world. I'm so grateful that I live up here where I can see these jets virtually every single day now. But anyway, I was so afraid that I was going to miss them because I had to work. And so I went down and waited in a parking lot for quite a while until they flew over. But anyway, so that's how we were about the star. We're like, Christmas star? Okay, this is totally awesome. So we went out early, and it was just barely getting dusk, and our son called us, and he said, he asked if we'd seen it. We were like, no, we don't know exactly where to look because, mountains, and again, I'm panicking. I already have my car packed for my nighttime job, and I was just going to hop in it and head down and park in a parking lot to make sure that I could see the full sky. And anyway, he said, just look towards the mountain. We have these gorgeous mountains to the, I think it's south, but I know it's not.
It's southwest. Yeah.
It's directions up here are kind of crazy. I feel like I'm in Russia or somewhere, but anyway, was the star incredible? So here we see Saturn and Jupiter. Huge.
And their moons.
Yeah, and the moons. And then we see Pluto right off. It's so spectacular. I just wanted to really cry. Then I looked up at the moon, and there's Mars, and right past Mars is Uranus. We had 5 planets just within a head turn. So anyway.
I had my hunting spotting scope that we were viewing all this. It was pretty awesome.
I know.
And binoculars.
We didn't have a great big huge telescope.
Hey, you don't need that. You can.
Well, we'll work up to that. Anyway, in Helaman 14, verse 5, it says, and behold, there shall a new star arise, such an one as ye never have beheld. Well, man, I've never beheld this new star like this. I never have. And in verse 6, it says, there shall be many signs and wonders in heaven. Well, that's one of the signs and wonders in heaven. So then you go over to verse 28 in Helaman 14, and it says, and the angel said unto me that many shall see greater things than these, to the intent that they might believe that these signs and these wonders should come to pass upon all the face of this land, to the intent that there should be no cause for unbelief among the children of men. And this to the intent that whosoever will believe might be saved. Well, here we see these beautiful things that our Heavenly Father has put in there as a sign for us. You know, a sign for what? People will ask, well, what's it a sign of? Well, in my opinion, it's a sign that, you know, we're getting ready. We are getting ready to witness grand things upon this earth, and that hopefully so soon Jesus Christ will come. And I cannot tell you how many people don't even want to broach the subject. And you even say one thing about it. Oh, there's so many things that have to happen, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Here we are in the last days. We've been told by our prophet, seer, and... Well, I know he's a prophet, seer, and revelator, but what did somebody else call him? He's a prophet, seer, and... What did Joseph do to the scriptures? Interpreter.
Interpretation, yeah. Yeah.
And
that's a seer.
But he has told us we are at the end. Anyway, so now in verse 30, and now remember, my brethren, that whosoever perisheth unto himself, and whosoever doeth iniquity, doeth it unto himself. For behold, you're free. You're permitted to act for yourself. So in this verse, to me, it says, you're free. You're free to believe that he's going to come or he's not going to come. You can read scriptures about it, you can pray about it, you can prepare or not. Just a minute. There is, okay, in 2 Nephi 6, and I just want to read this really fast. I know.
You're fine.
I know, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Because I really don't like doing this, because I get all emotional and my hair looks bad and I've been working and blah, blah, blah. And I just put my finger up to my nose. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't touch your face.
Let's see.
It's a distraction.
Wherefore they that fight against Zion and the covenant people of the Lord shall lick up the dust of their feet, and the people of the Lord shall not be ashamed. See? For the people of the Lord are they who wait for him, and they still wait for the coming of the Messiah. He will manifest himself unto them in power and great glory, unto the destruction of their enemies, when that day cometh, when they shall believe in him, and none will he destroy that believe in him. Mm-hmm. So that's in 2 Nephi 6. I just read verse 13 and 14. In 17 it says, for the mighty God shall deliver his covenant people. Well, we are Latter-day Covenant Israel, sisters and brothers. And if we continue to do what we need to, purify ourselves by repenting of our shortcomings, our sins, hopefully we've all, we've put our past, the bad things that we felt, done, thought, ignorantly on the altar and burned it. We've prayed for forgiveness. We continue to do what we need to do. We will be, and we can be called Latter-day Covenant Israel. And I know that we don't have to be perfect, but I do know that we want to try harder to be better people as we read our scriptures and try to do what we need to do here upon the earth so that we can